Thank you, Jack and Ori. All right. Happy Father's Day, all the fathers in the house, and to all the mothers that put up with them. That was a wonderful song. I didn't know we were going to do that song. We had another song planned, and Jack kind of changed it in the last minute. But it's very appropriate because I have a daughter, and she lives in California. I don't get to see her a lot, but I really, really love her more than the universe itself. And she's taught me a lot in my life about being a father at a distance, and about how much our Father God, as Spirit, is only love. Loves everyone and everything equally. What I find amazing about this idea of Father God is we want to include Mother God all the time, because we've changed the idea of God as Spirit into God as a white male being. And that's really messed up our psychology and how we treat one another. It's messed up how we treat women. It's messed up our whole society and our whole world, that idea. And what Jesus really meant when he called God Father was, my Father's not a human being, my Father is Spirit. Oh my goodness, you're not born of flesh alone, but you are born of Spirit and of water. That you are Spirit. And you are made manifest through the DNA of your father and your mother. But you are, in essence, Spirit. And this was what he was coming to teach. That although you are showing up in a body form with the DNA of your earthly mother and father, your real source is Spirit, everlasting. Your real source is Spirit, which is unlimited. Your real source, what you truly are, is something that cannot be contained within the body form. It cannot even be described, but it can be experienced. And I've come here to help you have that experience, to remember that your source, your true Father, is Spirit. We forgot that. We turned it around and made the Spirit into an image that we could relate to in a body form. So we forgot all about the female aspect of God. And so we try now to get back to experiencing God as Spirit. We try to get back to experiencing this everlasting Spirit in everyone that we meet. Because another thing that happened through the misrepresentation of spiritual truth through religion is that we've placed people outside of us and different from us. And what did that lead to? Inferior races. It led to superior white beings, right? And so, just recently, it was only 170 years or so ago. It was June 19th. 1865, we ended slavery in this country. And we are celebrating that today. Only for the second time in our history do we even acknowledge it or celebrate it. But here we are saying, great, we ended this idea that another human being should be able to own a human being. Boy, are we progressing. We've come so far that we finally acknowledge that that's wrong. So in some respects, we have a long way to go in realizing our oneness. So many of you are on a spiritual path. And most of us on the spiritual path have felt the joy and the peace in the realization of our oneness. And the connection and the love to every single living being. And you couldn't imagine separating yourself from those people that you see because they're part of you. You couldn't imagine separating yourself from them and treating them any differently. You know how you treat them is how you treat yourself because you're on a spiritual path. And some of you have touched the heart of God. You've experienced the unlimited depths of the serenity found in the silence. We've claimed our power and our perfection. We're open to abundance and prosperity. We understand, at least conceptually, the principles of truth. We share those ideas and the teachings of all the spiritual masters that we've encountered throughout our history. But how many of us can truly say, I have found and I am fulfilling my purpose? Oh, I got a few hands going up around here. Woohoo! Good job. I have found and I am fulfilling my purpose, the purpose of love, the purpose of being the Christ, being the light of the world. I found that purpose. No matter what way that is being demonstrated in the world, I found that purpose and I'm demonstrating it by just being you. You're demonstrating it because you're a unique expression of the divine. Perhaps you haven't found a human purpose that feels complete yet. But that's only because you haven't let your goals be big enough to let God in. It's got to open your door a little wider. Let Spirit come in. Open it so wide that Spirit is guiding you through your purpose. We spend so much time, we call it prayer, but it's really supplication and petitioning, telling the divine what we need, what we want, what we deserve. Geez, just last week I was praying for the Celtics to win the championship. I was telling God who should be the champion of the basketball world. And so, we laugh, but don't you do that in your life? Boy, if I could just get another, $40,000 in the bank. If I could just get this or just that. And so you think attaining those things are going to bring you into that experience of your eternal and peaceful nature. It's going to give you the peace that you know is your birthright. But it isn't those things that brings you that peace. It's the peace that brings you the peace. It's the knowing that brings you the knowing. It's the love that brings you the love. We use those things as vehicles for the energy that we have. And so we do need to share our purpose with the world. We need to share our gifts. It's very important. We're not here to be ordinary. We're here to be extraordinary. And if you've seen the evolution of Jack and Ori, in the last 4 or 5 years, I think it's pretty extraordinary. Now, I would like you to go out and share that with your neighbors. I want everyone here to bring a person with them next week to this place. Because everyone needs to know that they're extraordinary. Everyone needs to know how beautiful they are. Everyone needs to know of what lives inside of them. Everyone needs to know the magnificence of their being. If you look around this world, the only problem that we have is we don't know who we are. So what does it take for us to find meaning and our purpose in life? Pablo Picasso said, the meaning of life is to find your purpose. Find your gift, The meaning of life is to find your gift, your unique expression of God in the world. The purpose of life is to give it away. You can't keep it for yourself and feel your power and your magnificence. So the purpose really is to give yourself away in whatever form is best for you. Give it away. It's also been said, each of us is a unique expression of the divine on earth. Who wrote that? Oh, Reverend Anonymous. He's got a new book out in the hallway. It comes from these statements that I share with you on Sunday morning. And it's got beautiful photography by a world-famous Cape Cod photographer, Kathy Smith Brown. And that's one of her unique ways of expressing God on earth, through that photography. I have one of your photos up in our house. And every time I see it, I'm transfixed. I sit there for like several minutes. I go into a meditation looking at this photo. It's of a crane, and it has a perfect reflection in the water. And it's just, it could be from the most famous photographer in the world. And to me, she is. But I go into like a meditation when I see that. It gives me an experience. It helps me share the experience that Kathy is having of the divine in that moment when she saw that crane and she was in nature and she felt one with the universe and with that bird and was actually communicating in that moment. But not just with that crane, she was communicating with all of us. She was feeling the communication from the divine. And that communication now, through that photograph, I can feel the vibration of it. That's called the stored quantum energy in every single thing there is. The vibration of Kathy's experience lives on in that photograph. The vibration of your father and all that he meant to you is living on in you and in Joanne and in everyone that he ever met. And I want you to know that everything that you're doing in love will continue on in this world, in this universe, as a vibration, and will bring that experience to others. So you don't have to worry about the results. If you're doing it out of love, you don't have to worry about it. It's having a maximal effect. So again, I'll come back to our opening prayer. Our purpose is to do everything in love. And we know when we're doing it in love, everything else falls away. So how many of you believe that you're here as a unique expression of God, the divine? Great. So if you know, do you know, how many people here know someone who doesn't believe that? Oh, invite them next week. Because this is what we're teaching and what we're demonstrating. Okay, so you can't invite everybody you see on TV, but invite your friends, your neighbors, and your family. You know, there's a movement in the world today to divide people in order to get what you want. It's not going to happen because what you really want is love. And what we really need is to bring people back together. And that's what we're dedicating our lives to. So that's the first step. You guys all know you're here as a unique expression of the divine, of love itself. That's my purpose. Now you know it. You don't have to go searching around to see what is my purpose. Now everything that you do will be a vehicle for that purpose. My purpose isn't to make a lot of money. My purpose is to use my money to have an impact in the world, a positive impact in the world. Lily and I made a pact. When we read Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who are the co-founders of the Unity Movement, in their book, there's a book called The Story of Unity by James Dillett Freeman. The Story of Unity tells their story that one day, it was December 7th, I believe, early 1900s. I can't remember when it was, that year. I wasn't born yet, that's why. But they made a pact between each other, an agreement, that everything in their life, everything that they received, everything that they had in that moment or were about to receive would go toward the purpose of furthering the mission of unity. So Lily and I were moved by that. We said, that's what we're going to do. Everything we have, everything we receive or plan to receive is going to go towards the mission of furthering the vision of unity, which is a world powerfully transformed by the growing movement of our shared Spiritual awakening. Thank you. So we're waking up spiritually. We're waking up. And that's our goal. That's our mission. Wake up to the love that we are and just shine that in the world. So the first step, the biggest one we can take, is already taken. You've already done it. You've acknowledged that you are a unique expression of God. All power in heaven and earth has been given you. The only question now is, what are you doing with it? Are you the light of the world? Well, let's start acting like it. Let's stop acting small and put our power into demonstration. Whatever gifts that you have to offer the world, you have the motivating factor now. The way to apply your talents. I'm a unique expression of the divine love, of all the love there is in the universe. I'm a unique expression of that in this world. Each morning when I wake up, I have to remind myself, because it's easy to fall asleep. Yes, we're in a spiritual awakening, but we need to keep ourselves awake. It's easy to fall asleep when we look at the things of the world and we begin to respond with the same frequency, that low vibration frequency of separation, of judgment and attack. When we start to respond to that vibration on that same level, it's a reaction within us. Yes, we're being triggered in these primal, reactive things that go on in your body. Your amygdala starts going off, and you know, your version of saving the world is getting the other guy, is winning that battle. It's not about a battle. It's about shining the light so bright that you see the light in yourself. You see the light in yourself when I'm shining the light. It doesn't matter what you thought before that moment, how you characterize yourself, your life, the world, and all of your ideas about it. Because none of that is actually true. The only truth that we share is the truth of love, the truth of oneness, the truth of God that is in you. So you're a unique expression of the divine on earth. And when you really, really just take that in fully and embody that, you allow others to be their unique expression of the divine. And pretty soon, you know what happens. Heaven on earth. And many of you have experienced heaven on earth and continue to do so. That's your practice, to experience heaven on earth, to invite others into that place. That's the big shift in life. I was talking with my brother the other day. He came to visit, and we were talking about the big shift in being a human being is when you live your life for others and not just for yourself. There's a huge shift that happens when you live your life for others and for the planet and not just for yourself. Because you are already included in the others. You are already included in the planet. When you start living your life to improve your relationship with others and the planet, something happens to your relationship with yourself. It's extraordinary. So it goes back to ending the dream of separation. Because once you see and feel your oneness with others and with the whole planet, the dream of separation is over. And the ability to heal every single problem that humankind has ever had throughout history is in your hands. You hold the key. I love that song we sang. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling little hands. Right? But one key unlocks them both. You unlock it. Unlock the door to this experience. Every single one of our problems stems from our belief in this false sense of separation from each other. So it makes perfect sense to me that healing that sense of separation is the end of all our problems. You love to talk about the problems as if they were real and as if somebody else created them. That's the key. Your sense of separation from others is the sole cause of every problem humankind has ever experienced. And when you end that insistence that the world of separation is your reality, all the problems fade away. Now, of course, the world is going to try to get you involved, trigger you to get back into that game, right? Who's going to win that game of separation? Then you're just sitting there praying for the Celtics to win. You're just praying for the next your candidate to win. You're just praying for this to happen or that to happen. And if it happens or if it doesn't, you're still stuck in that realm of seeming opposites. Are you following me? Love has no opposite. God has no opposite. There is only love in the universe. I don't know how else to say it, but we're so insistent on our version of reality that we imprison ourselves there. The miracle is when you accept that there is only love in the universe, that all else is stemming from your false sense of separation. You're going to dedicate your life to ending that sense of separation in you and for others. So now you know you are God's love in action. Say to me that. I am God's love in action. I am here to be extraordinary. I am mastering my magnificence. I have a mighty purpose. All right, so thank you. Now I can go home. Now I can relax. You're not the only one. You at least got a room full of people who share that purpose with you, who are a living expression of God's love, who want to be extraordinary. So whatever particular gift that you may have, it's perfect. You are perfect. And it's necessary. You are necessary. And it makes us all whole. It's Ubuntu. I exist because of you. We are a whole. I cannot exist without you. I cannot be happy without you. I have my purpose is your purpose. We share that purpose. So Eckhart Tolle said something really extraordinary, and I want to share it with you. You are here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That's how important you are. The divine purpose of the universe. I'm not here to figure it out, what that purpose is. I'm not here to explain it to you, what that purpose is. I'm here to enable it to unfold in you and in me. I'm here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That's how important I am. That's how important you are. Enabling the divine purpose of the universe. Finding your gift, giving it away. Living for others. And not just for yourself. Being the love of God in action. I'm counting on you guys to do this. I really am. Do you want to see an end to racism and oppression? The end of war and inequality? The end of gun violence in our country? The end of hunger? The reversal of climate change? Do you really want to see these things? Or are you just talking about it? Do you want to see us to heal the divide between people? And see a world that works for everyone? Is this what you really want? So instead of looking at it as a problem, I'm going to give you the end of the equation here. Instead of looking at it as a problem, inevitable and unsolvable, we have a choice to see it as an opportunity. And that's what we're about, turning our obstacles into opportunities. It's an opportunity to apply a spiritual solution. We can see these challenges as a place where the light gets through, where the light comes in. And guess what? That light is you. Being the light of the world is no small thing, my friends. It is a mighty purpose. And it's a purpose that we share. We share the purpose of the universe, to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold through us. That's a mighty purpose. So let's have fun doing it, okay? I love you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.